they single you out for credit. Now, for the audience, let me just tell you what I'm talking about. You guys have all remember the Charlottesville thing. We're talking August 2017. 2017, 7 years ago. And last night, they put out a fact check saying, yeah, I know it's been a little while, right, but guess what? President Trump didn't say, didn't call neo-Nazis and white supremacists very fine people. Steve, let me just lead in with the Snopes, and then I want to talk to you about your role in this.
Sure.
It says, this is Snopes.com, right? We looked into these claims and found that while Trump did say that there were very fine people on both sides, meaning both the protesters and the counter-protesters, the counter-protesters, they just were there because they wanted the monument to stay. They liked Robert E. Lee or whatever. It says, he also condemned neo-Nazis and white nationalists outright and said that he was specifically referring to those who were there only to participate in the statue protest. We found the original clip on C-SPAN and transcribed the relevant section below. This is Snopes.com. Like, somehow they were like, we got a fortnight in a wagon and we rolled up to them C-SPAN headquarters and finally got, what? I don't understand what took so long.
Yeah. Listen, I'll take it, right? Even 7 years late, this correction of the record. And, but very much kidding aside, on a very serious note, this lie, this very damnable hoax, this myth that the media has been propagating for years and years, it did tremendous damage to this country. I think it did great damage to race relations, particularly in this country, because it wasn't just about Donald Trump. The media fooled at least half the country into believing that not just Trump, but that our entire movement was based in racism, that it was a movement of bigotry instead of one of patriotic populism. And because of that, this lie had real pernicious, malicious effect on our entire society and certainly on our politics. So, obviously it's natural for us to sort of laugh like, oh gosh, you just figured this out, Snopes. And by the way, Snopes claims to be a fact-checking site. It's incredibly left-leaning. I would put fact-checking in quotes for Snopes. I'll give them some credit, I guess. I'll give them a D- rather than an F. Because they have finally come around to the truth. I'm not sure why, and there's a lot of because I've been so involved in this hoax for so long, I've been fighting it for years and years. Lots of people, Sean, you're probably not surprised to hear this, reached out to me over the weekend. My phone was blowing up with people saying, oh my gosh, Snopes admits you've been right all along. And then everybody naturally, the next question is, well, why? And why now?
That's okay. Why? So give me your theory. Why?
I don't know, to be quite honest. And here's what most people say, and I don't buy into this, okay? I believe Joe Biden is the nominee. I believe he will be the nominee until November 5th. But what most folks are saying, who are incredibly skeptical of the entire process, is that this is a step toward removing Joe Biden. Why? Why is this that important? Well, remember, Joe Biden based his entire campaign, the reason he is president, is predicated upon the Charlottesville lie. That's not my opinion. That is his own explicit words. I take him at his words when he's explicit, unlike the media with Donald Trump at Charlottesville. So it is foundational. Now, this might be very interesting. Will CNN bring this up on Thursday night? If they do, then that's going to be a problem for Joe Biden, because he has continued to spread this lie, this malicious lie, again and again, not just as the foundation for him running, but throughout his tenure in the White House. But here's my honest answer, Sean. I don't know why they decided to do it now. I really don't, because I don't believe that. I believe Joe Biden is the nominee. We'll see what happens. But, I do know this. It's important for our nation. The more people who can recognize this, even though Snopes, again, is a very imperfect, quote, fact checker.
Yeah.
I think this is still going to be important for us to use as a device to convince people out there who believe that Donald Trump is a racist, that you have been fed a lie. And I've been fighting this for so many years. And the main reason, too, just to quickly explain my own involvement, is that when I was at CNN in 2018 and 2019 at the request of President Trump, believe it or not, some of the folks out there may not know, I worked for CNN, went to combat every night, verbal combat in the political arena, fighting for the America First agenda in the most unfriendly octagon possible. And again, they would bring up the Charlottesville lie. And I would always verbally say, no, that's wrong. He didn't say that. And they would just quickly dismiss me, move on, sometimes even cut my mic. So finally, I said, okay, I need to write an article, a serious article, which I did at Real Clear Politics. This is back in